So I kinda touched on this subject before, but I'd like to add more of my thoughts into this gamer-fueled bloodbath and touch on a different aspect of the conversation. This time around, I'd like to explain why I fully believe FromSoft games should not have the typical easy mode, and why it would actually damage their games if they did. Elden Ring! What can I say that hasn't already been said about this dang thing? In fact, I actually wrote a massive script reviewing and breaking down the entire game, but in the end, it felt like I was mostly echoing everyone's opinions that, yeah, not sure if you've heard, but this game is pretty good. And if the newfound mega mainstream success wasn't enough for you, maybe the fact that it outsold fucking Call of Duty can properly explain just how massive this game is. I don't even think FromSoft themselves could have properly prepared for this level of success. I bring this up because a statement I often heard before release was if they wanted to reach this broader success, FromSoft would have to switch gears and add an but they didn't, and the game is somehow incredibly accessible without losing its core difficult identity. So how did they do it with no easy mode, no difficulty slider, no weakened enemies, no extra handholding? How did they make it more approachable without turning the entire series on its head? Well, in short, they did it with calculated micro changes that non-Soulsborne fans probably won't even notice. They did it authentically and naturally. For starters, sites of lost grace, this game's checkpoint bonfires, are now around every corner and under every damn slug.
Sorry about this, just gotta get out of here for just a moment.
That combined with the Stakes of America, additional temporary checkpoints, you're very rarely backtracking to a boss or even running past enemies to get where you previously were. The entire game is far more open now, obviously, and with that brings a wealth of different approach options. If you're stuck on a boss, fuck it, fuck you, sir! Leave, get out of there. Almost nothing is mandatory and you can return to it when you're ready. At the start of the game, you instantly have access to build-defining endgame level gear, farmable enemies, shortcuts, and even runes and upgrade materials are easier to come by now. It's often you'll find yourself bouncing between being far too weak to fight a boss and then later being way over leveled to fight that same boss. You'll taste both ends of the power dynamic here more often than in previous titles. Delicious game-breaking cheese has always been a FromSoft staple, but these are things that dynamically make the game slightly easier across the board without clicking a button and neutering the entire vision of the game. FromSoft clearly made Elden Ring easier to pick up without actually changing the difficulty.
So what you're saying, Circle, is it's good that the game is easier? Doesn't that completely contradict your argument, you stupid dumb bitch?
No siree, you little scamp. Here's why. FromSoft games are built on the concrete foundation that everyone is always surviving on a level playing field. If everything hits the same, moves the same, glitches on a tiny rock the same, overcoming those obstacles will always yield the same heightened satisfaction because you did what others already did or what others couldn't. If Elden Ring decides to lower or heighten the bar of entry compared to previous titles, that's fine, but keeping that bar a single, consistent level for every player is crucial. Beating Millennia is objectively an impressive feat because of this. It's not something that everyone can do because they added some bullshit mode that makes the game anything you want it to be. This might be a tough pill to swallow, but the majority of players actually enjoy that some people can't beat these bosses. It makes victory that much sweeter. It's a positive aspect of the gameplay. What I'm saying here is where am I? What is this?
Difficulty this, difficulty there.
Who are you? Who's there?
Have you ever had difficulties with hair loss?
Oh, it's an ad read. I thought I was gonna be fucking murdered or something. This video is sponsored by Keeps, the hair loss treatment subscription service you know and love. I don't need it personally because I can't grow anything up there except for hey, get down from there right now! All Keeps treatment plans are doctor recommended and spawn directly on your doorstep. Plus, it's more affordable and easier than going to a traditional pharmacy. Whether you're looking to prevent hair loss, fire up your little follicles, or just take better care of the hair you got, Keeps has got you covered. And I'm not supposed to tell you this, but if you use enough Keeps, you can create a hair golem that'll kick the shit out of that dude that made fun of your bald spot. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, go to keeps.com/CircleToons or click the link in the description. That's keeps.com/CircleToons. And a big thanks to Keeps for sponsoring this one. It really helps me make the videos that I want to make. So anyway, the creator wants it to be this way. The fans want it to be this way. It's not missing a feature. Not having difficulty options is a feature, and a very popular, unique one at that. And it's not just the combat that plays off the understanding of this. Even the shared world message system pairs perfectly with the set-in-stone difficulty. Because the world is so fucked up and brutal, when you see messages warning of an ambush or messages telling you where a secret item is, you actually gain a profound appreciation for those players because they've already went through hell and they want others to organically navigate those same things safer. Except for some people that just tell you to jump off a cliff. That's cool. The single shared difficulty builds a camaraderie that is unmatched by any other series. Or how about when you arrive to a boss door and see dozens of messages like,
When will it end?
I want to go home.
Pickle.
And then when you finally beat that boss, you were greeted with a shared respite that no other game can contest. Some messages cheering on your achievement, others conveying the end of that shared struggle, and also the same pickle guy. Could you imagine how dumb all of this would feel if there were a ton of different settings to make the game as easy as you'd want? It would all be pointless. I mean, Dark Souls had a Prepare to Die edition. You see how dumb it would be to have a fucking easy mode in a Prepare to Die edition, right? Gameplay alterations, item spawns, multiplayer mechanics. This is how you make a more accessible game without losing the exciting aspect that popularized the series in the first place. So let's hypothetically say all of this isn't enough. Your build sucks, you aren't getting better at dodging, and you've been stuck on a boss for a while now. There's still one more gameplay element that merges world building and difficulty altering at once, when it wants to fucking work. In the same way Journey allowed you to peacefully connect to a silent stranger, FromSoft's summoning system allows you to conjure up a naked psychopath that will dodge every attack and kill the boss for you, or someone named Unkillable Demon Lord that will die almost immediately. This is another great example of having control over the difficulty of the game, but in a way that's lore relevant, thematically fun, and interesting. Summoning someone to help isn't just a blanket easy mode though. Your healing items are actually reduced, and the bosses get a major buff.
Ah, great! So even the stuff that's meant to make the game easier actually makes the game harder?
Not necessarily.
What the hell?
All this system does is open up new gameplay routes that, again, challenges your skill in new ways. Sure, it can make the game a lot easier, but that's up to you and the other player, not the game settings. You see what I'm saying here? Playing ping pong with the boss's aggro, getting in close while your friends fight from a distance, distracting the boss while your ally slowly poisons him, stun locking and breaking their stance with pure speed and aggressive attacks. So yeah, it can make the game easier, but the easier difficulty also comes from hard work, practice, and teamwork like everything else in the game. All of these things, the messages, the satisfying victories, the multiplayer knights in shining armor, the calculated builds, the gloomy lore, a ton of the actual character dialogue, you would be genuinely robbing yourself of all of these things if you simply chose to make it easy on yourself. So in summary, I think most games in general would either not change very much or even benefit from an easy mode, but not FromSoft games. They are different. They are special. It's not that the games happen to be difficult, they need to be. It's not that the games are lacking a difficulty feature, its absence is a calculated gameplay and artistic decision. Often people don't know what they actually want, and if hypothetically back in the day when I started playing Dark Souls, if there was an easier mode, I probably would have selected it. I'm genuinely glad that there wasn't, because I got the intended experience the developers always wanted, and that experience is unfucking matched.